What's up, golf addicts? Welcome to the Rocket Mortgage Classic 2022 DraftKings preview. I'm DB. I got Pat Perry with me. We are the Tour Junkies, breaking it down, presented to you by our friends at FantasyNational.com, the one-stop shop for PGA Tour golf betting stats, tools, optimizers, ownership projections, tournament history, recent results, build my own model, have fun with golf data, nerdy stuff. The best spot for that, hands down, is FantasyNational.com. We've been using them for 5 years, and we believe in them. And if you go to FantasyNational.com/TJ and tell them we sent you, you can save 20% off any membership level, weekly, monthly, or annual memberships available, and you can give it a try. And if you love it and you upgrade, you still get to keep the 20% off because the people at Fantasy National are good people. And support good people. So go check it out. Thanks to Fantasy National. Pat, we just wrapped up the betting show. We're back live on YouTube for the first time in a while with the DFS picks. We kind of tested a little thing there. It didn't work. We hear you loud and clear out there in YouTube land. So here we are. We're talking DraftKings for the Rocket Mortgage. We're going to have a special guest later in the show to help us break down the 6K range. Very special.
Loving this special guest tonight.
I'm loving it when you yell in the mic like that without backing off of it just a touch. That's awesome when you do that.
Well, it's just for you, buddy.
You know, Pat, if you want to yell, you could just go like this, and it doesn't. You get it. It's called mic discipline, Pat. Mic discipline.
Yeah, I don't know if I like mic discipline.
All right, are we still drinking beer? Are you drinking beer? You moved on to vodka. What are we doing?
Just a beer.
I went to vodka. I got a little Arnold Palmer vodka version.
It looks good. Looks a little more tea in there.
A dirty.
I don't know. Did you put like a half a shot of vodka in there?
No.
I see a lot of tea. A lot of tea.
No, it's definitely not a half a shot. It's probably a shot and a half.
Is there any lemonade?
It's just the pre-mixed stuff.
Oh, the pre-mixed stuff. Okay. You went pre-mix. All right.
Yeah, I went pre-mix there. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk Rocket Mortgage, DraftKings, 9K and above range. We'll get right to the pricing, talk about what people are going to do. It's another soft pricing week. They've got Patrick Cantlay up top at 10-7. Nobody in the 11K range. Really, what do we got? 9 guys. Is it 9? Am I counting that right? 9 guys from 9K and above. They're doing this to us again. I mean, the Rocket Mortgage is similar to the 3M in some ways. It's a birdie fest. If you want a full breakdown on the golf course, you can check that out on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. I did that for Detroit Golf Club. Everything you need to know and nothing you don't in 14 minutes. So check it out if you want that full thing, but we're going to get straight to the picks. Pat, I think that, this field is stronger than what we saw last week at the 3M. It's definitely stronger. Yeah. So, last week I was like, I think people are going to be tempted to, you could do the balance lineup thing and like completely fade that range, which really kind of paid off except for Tony Finau. And I guess Sung Jae played pretty well too. So I was wrong. But this week, tougher to avoid this range altogether, given some of the top-end talent and the soft pricing. You can obviously fit in Cantlay and even another guy in the 9K range very easily here. Personally, I don't find the 6K range having a whole lot of guys in there that I'm like really excited about or I think is like a supreme value. So I think the popular build is for sure going to be taking a couple of guys, 2 guys from this range and figuring it out. What are you going to do up here? What are you thinking so far here on this Monday night?
Well, I'm definitely going to be taking some guys from this range, and there's a few that I really love. One is Willie Z. I talked about him on the betting show. I think you avoid Cantlay and Finau up there, and then you drop down and start lineups with Willie Z at 10-4. The guy's just been playing fantastic this year. He checks a lot of boxes. I know you mentioned on the betting show you're worried about his scoring in a birdie fest, but look, he is number 1 in the field when you look at all the stats that I like, okay? And that means he's number 2 in ball striking. He's 8th in approach. He's 3rd in strokes gained off the tee. 2nd opportunities gained. 3rd birdie or better percentage. Top 10 par 5 scoring. So Willie Z checks every box for me. I love him at 10-4, and I will play him a lot. I don't care really where the ownership is. So if he is high owned, you know what? I'll just bump it up a little bit and just I'm going with him. If he's chalk, whatever. Okay. Then if I'm dropping down a little bit here, I love Max Houma at 9,900. He's another guy, checks a lot of boxes. You look at ball striking, great ball striker, top 10 in the field there and an approach. He's also top 15 in birdie or better percentage and fourth in par 5 scoring. Remember, we've got 4 par 5s on this course, 3 of them of which they can definitely score on. One of them's pretty long and will be a 3-shot hole. But I do like Max Homa a lot at 9,900. And then dropping down, a guy that just interests me, and I don't want to bet him, but I think I could get low ownership and a chance to maybe, like, I don't know, win a GPP this week with Adam Scott at 9,300. I like him as well. He is another great ball striker, great on approach, 11th in opportunities gained, top 20 in birdie or better percentage. I think Adam Scott could be just one of those sneaky plays in this range that people might kind of look over. Maybe they think he's going to live. He's going to live golf, living the high life. And maybe they're just going to forget about some Adam Scott. He's never played here before. But I do like him at 9,300. I think the ownership is the play there for old Adam Scott. There you go.
It will be interesting to see where the ownership falls. Obviously, that matters every single week. It matters a lot in the DFS game that we all play. I think tell me if you agree with this. I think the 3 most popular players will be in this range: Finau, Cameron Young, and Max Homa. Do you agree with any of those? Do you agree with all of them? How many do you agree with?
Finau, Cameron Young, and Max Homa. Of this, I can't disagree with that.
I guess I'm thinking like Finau over Cantlay because obviously he's playing very well. He just won. Maybe that could also throw people off because sometimes people, will want to fade the guy who just won. But like, I think that's different depending on the player. But I feel like, do you think Cam Young's going to be more popular than Willie Z? I can't put my finger on that one. I think he is. $300 cheaper. There's people like me who don't love Will Z's track record on birdie courses, high birdie fest deals. It was really hard for me to say for some reason, but I'm thinking he does come in a little more popular than Will Z.
I do, and I would love that.
Yeah.
If I could get some ownership leverage on Willie Z, I don't think I will. But if I had a little bit over some of these guys in this range, I'll take them for sure.
I feel like Homa is going to be the most popular play in this range, and I love Max Homa. I really do. It may be chalk. I would go ahead and chomping on
Do
a
you
little
think
Max Homa.
Homo will be more owned than Cam Young?
I think so.
Hmm.
I think so because what boxes does he check or does Cam Young check that Max doesn't? And what Max does better than Cam Young is putt. So yeah, I think he will be. But I'm trying to figure out what are people we haven't talked about this guy. Like, what are people going to do with Kisner? Because obviously the tournament history here, he's gained the most strokes at this golf course in the 3 years they've had it with a 46th, a 3rd, and an 8th. He's shown some form here recently. But I'm wondering if that, like, and it may be the reason your Adam Scott play gets a little bit of an ownership break. I feel like this, Cam Davis to Kevin Kisner range may be left behind because people are you can literally play 2 guys from Max Homa up and still be in the 7K on an average salary. And there's a lot of guys in the low 7s that I like. There's not a lot of guys in the 6K I like, but there's a lot of guys in the low 7s I like. So what do you think people are going to do with Kisner?
I don't think his will be high owned at all. He never is. He never is.
Yeah.
Maybe in Hilton Head, which, to be honest, you could probably argue is he shouldn't be because he's had a few, good outings there. Maybe at the Wyndham, something
Yeah,
like that.
Wyndham. Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to have a whole lot of ownership here. People just, because the way Kiz plays is so inconsistent. Like, he never has like this consistent long run of good play. It's always like 2 or 3 tournaments here, a lot of bad ones,
Yeah,
2, 3
you're right.
tournaments here. And so that means his ownership never just hits that point where you're like, okay, I got like really high chalky Kiz. Like, I just never feel like you get a chalky Kiz because it's so inconsistent.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it. I mean, he's like very course dependent, right? It depends on if the
Yes.
course fits him or not, if it suits him or not.
And this is one that suits him. Anything
Yeah,
that's
I agree.
Donald Ross,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, this is a course fit for Kiz.
And we're hearing so far from Michigan, from folks there that not a lot of rain in that area lately. It's playing firm and fast, which obviously is going to, shrink the fairways a little bit and help the shorter hitters like Kiz. So, that could be in play. I mean, the only guy in this range that I just flat out don't like, or I'm not gonna play. Not that I don't like, I'm not gonna play. Is Will Z, which we've talked about. But for me, I am very, very interested in Patrick Cantlay. I mean, like that dude is playing so well right now, and if people do, jump on Finau and the momentum of Finau, and maybe they see, oh, Finau's played here before at least, and he, you know, I mean, I don't know if people. I'm thinking people might do that, but I could be wrong. Maybe people are like, oh no, Patrick Cantlay is head and shoulders better than Tony Finau, and he's only $100 more. I'll take it, and maybe that's the case. But I really am interested in Patrick Cantlay, and then from there, I'm going to Max Homa, and I'm interested in either Keegan, Adam, or Cam Davis in terms of like low owned studs. Cam worries me a little bit, like defending his first golf tournament, first win last year. Doesn't feel like he's really the great value here at 9,700 in this range, but I would still be somewhat interested given his recent form, his ability to hit it far, his ability to putt on primarily bent grass, pure greens. So I think that's an interesting spot there. If I were playing cash, I'd go Max Homa all day long.
Yeah, I agree with you on cash there. I think Max Homa's a play.
Okay, let's walk it on back to the 8K range. Before we do, I got to remind you guys that PXG is out there, and I got a chance to hit some of their irons recently. And PXG makes world class, high performance golf equipment for golfers that have every skill level now, not just, single digit handicappers. From their newest, most technologically advanced Gen 5 golf clubs to the more budget friendly 0211 line of sticks, PXG delivers unbelievable quality, distance, forgiveness, and feel. And PXG does not sell off the shelf because that's literally the dumbest thing you do is buy a golf club off the shelf. Even if you're a 19 handicap, don't buy a golf club off the shelf, get fitted. Every club is customized to fit your individual swing. Buy online at pxg.com, or you can call 844-PLAY-PXG, or you can visit a PXG store or fitting studio near you. PXG. Nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period. America. Okay. 8K range. Here we go. Sorry, false alarm there, Sam. Thank you. 8K range. Oh, look at him. Look at him on the graphic. These are beautiful graphics. Listen, if you like producer Sam's graphics, then hit the like button on YouTube if you're watching live. If you like producer Sam's graphics, if you think, hey, producer Sam, you're doing a great job, hit the like button and make him feel good. Okay. Also, Pat, while I'm talking about it, while you're doing that, comment for me. We got Liv going to Trump Bedminster in New Jersey this week. Are you betting? Are you playing DFS for the Liv event this week? Because let me just tell you, me and the kid, that's right, me and the young baby boy of the Tour Junkies, the little nursery, he's we keep him in the nursery most of the time, lock him up. And, then they page us and let us know he slapped a kid or maybe he bit somebody or shit his pants. And we got to go check on him. We're talking about Garrett Simmons, the baby boy Garrett Simmons, our Korn Ferry Tour expert. Me and Garrett are going to be breaking down the Live action from a betting perspective this week, so stay tuned for that. That's dropping. We're going to even have a special guest from Trump Bedminster, because if you can bet on it and it's professional golf, we're covering it. So that's just what we're doing. Also dropping this week is a very, I'm going to use the word, and I got to do this with my fingers when I say this. I kind of have to do this with my fingers when I say this. Coming this week, a very titillating. Don't you feel like this is a very appropriate move for that? Just to do that. I don't know.
I feel like if you're saying titillating, you'd be going like this.
Very titillating interview. very, very titillating interview dropping this week from someone who just finished their very first event in Portland with Liv. And we asked some hard questions and we got some interesting answers, and it's going to be interesting. You're going to want to listen to it. So we got some hot new interviews dropping in the next couple of weeks from Tour Junkies. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel if you're not already, and you're subscribed to the podcast so that you always get notified when that happens. Turn notifications on. Okay. All right, Sam, Now we can go to the 8K range, but people should definitely be giving likes if you like producer Sam's graphics and all the things he does to make our show better. Okay. Denny McCarthy, Mav McNeely, Sahith, Sahith, Davis, Tringali all pissed a lot of
A
people off.
lot of people pissed off about those guys.
All pissed a lot of people off. Adam Hadwin, Webb Simpson, Russell Henley, Gary Woodland, and Mark Hubbard. You may see the out next to Mark Hubbard's name that is left over from last week. I don't know when DraftKings will take it off. We confirmed today from Mark's people that he is playing, and so no need to fear. In this range, Pat, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing. I like guys. I think the chalk. Let's talk about chalk first. I think the chalk is going to be Mav.
I still like him.
I do too. Dadgummit.
I think Hubbard could end up being a little bit chalk, unless like I'm glad maybe like DK can hold on to that out button for till like Wednesday.
Oh,
I'd be
God.
all right with that.
I love this comment, Nick A. Tangali destroyed me. That's hilarious. What a great nickname. We refer to him as Catalina in the Nut Hut. So if you got to be in the Nut Hut to know that one. I think Sahith is going to be popular despite the miscut. Like guys like Sahith who people just like. He's just so likable. Everybody just wants to be his best friend.
I feel like I need a break from Sahith. He needs a
feel like
break.
Sahith needs a break. Yes,
he needs a break.
Yeah. He needs to sit down. Sahith, sit down, brother. Like, put your feet up. Grab an ice pack. Cold beer. You know, like, God dang it.
Take a rest for a minute.
You know, Sung Jae's looking at him. You know, him and Sung Jae, like, crossed paths in the locker room like, just 2 days ago or something. Or it would have been 2 days ago. Sahith wasn't there. Like, on Friday. And Sung Jae, like, gave him a real, shit-eating grin. Like, get off my turf, man. I play every week out here. You don't.
They're like the Spider-Man gif where they're like,
yeah,
you're like pointing at each other like.
Sahith and Sung Jae see each other in the locker room. They're both wearing spandex.
Yeah, I'm kind of out on Sahith this week, and I just don't like how much he's played, and he's been playing well.
Yeah, he's traveling.
But I like Mav. Is it weird that Denny, the highest priced guy in here, could end up being super low and nobody cares about him? They're like, why is this guy Denny McCarthy at 8,900? I have no clue why.
I can't figure out Denny. I think in the higher stakes contest, Denny's going to be popular.
I think he is too, and
I like Denny.
He's been playing well lately. You know, top 10 at the John Deere, T16 at the Scottish, T49 last week at the 3M. What? No, wait. I'm looking at Mav. He was T6 at the John. Why is he so pricey? What the hell? Denny.
Oh man, dude.
What am I missing here? Why is he so?
I think this is a perfect spot for Denny. This is a perfect spot for Denny. He
doesn't even check any boxes.
He's got 3 top 10s in his last 4 starts, and he's been making cuts all year. Like he has a very high floor and a top 5 ceiling, even in this golf tournament. And this putting contest is going to be real. And Denny McCarthy, putting contest guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I get it. But still, I don't know if I'm very high on Denny. Although I think he might get him low owned. I think there's going to be a lot of people kind of wondering there.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with this range.
I think you go back in on Davis Riley. I think if you're going to go, like you're going to look at 3 guys here when you're looking at this range. If you play a lot, and you're going to think Sahith, Davis Riley, Cameron Tringali. I could see
he was 30% owned last week.
I know, and so he's gonna get the biggest hit of all of them with ownership. And I think Davis Riley is the one that you take advantage of.
And honestly, if you look at it, he didn't do terrible in anything. I mean, he almost lost. He almost lost 1 stroke with the putter between those 2 rounds. But other than that, he was actually positive strokes gained tee to green. He just didn't light it up like he normally, he didn't gain like 5 strokes with his irons like he normally does. I think of those 3 guys that pissed a lot of people off, Sahith, Tringali, and Davis, I would rather go back with Davis as well. I'm with you. I say we ride with D. Riley.
Okay, let's do it.
Um, I don't think Hubs is gonna be popular. People don't
Mm.
Hubbard's a popular guy. I mean, you thought he might be, but Hubbard's a popular guy
I
on
think
Twitter
that
'cause
the
he's
I
funny.
mean, this it shouldn't be a thing because it's inaccurate information, but DK even throwing up the out on him today throws people off of him.
For those dummies that make their lineups, now and then never check them again,
Just
that's
not even paying attention.
God,
But
hopefully none of
DK
those
shouldn't
idiots
even do that anyway. I don't
hopefully
know
none of
why
those
they just
idiots listen to our show. I mean, Hubbard is another one that's intriguing to me, but I don't we'll see how that goes. A chalky Hubbard, if that happens, but I don't think
no, can't play a chalky
chalky
Hubbard.
Hubbard I shall not be a part of.
No.
I will
It's just like I said on the betting show, I don't think I would bet him to win, but I like him as a top 20.
yeah.
What do you want out of him if you're gonna play him at 8K?
I mean, at least the top 25 maybe.
I think top 20, and I think he's gotta make some eagles and birdies and whatever else in here and just
He's not a big eagle guy, I
yeah.
don't think. I mean, I haven't looked at it statistically, but he doesn't strike me as he barely hits it out of his shadow, so he's gotta drop a lot of bombs to make eagles, which is hard to do. But I mean, yeah. So all right, we gotta narrow this down a little bit. Like what we like Riley. Who knows on Riley though? Because I could still see plenty of people saying what we're saying. Like he's a really enticing player to get back on after a week like that, kind of that bounce back. So where are the gaps in ownership here? The gaps are going to be Woodland, Henley, Webb. I think Hadwin. We haven't talked about him. I think Hadwin could be pretty popular, and I'm intrigued. I'm
Mhm.
intrigued. Kind of game
Why would you not be intrigued with a Webb at 8,300
easy. I think Webb sucks.
on a Donald Ross design?
Yeah, old Webb would have been 9,400 here, but I've not been on Webb all year, and I've been perfectly fine. Again, just like a couple weeks ago
Top
when
10 here 2 years ago.
like, that was 2 years ago. He's a different Webb right now. He's not shown us that he's back to being Webb. We talked about this on the John Deere when him and Adam had one of the 2 highest priced players, and I was like, "Give me a freaking break." He had not had a top 10 since November. I don't want Webb. I don't like Webb.
Okay, well, okay, so 3 spots away at the Travelers didn't make that comment that you just said.
I don't care. It still didn't happen. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't like Webb. I
I think
so
Webb could be an interesting play in here.
if you zoom out and you're talking long term course fit Donald Ross, yes, I could see that. If you want to make that move, sure, I get that. I would rather, I would rather go elsewhere. Okay, that's the 8K range. The Sahith and Sung Jae thing is making me laugh. All right, let's talk. Let's talk 7K. Let's take a look at the 7K range. Plenty of juicy options in here. Oh, you got Chris Kerr, our boy Siwoo's in there. Chris Kirk, Ju Young Kim is rolling. He's keeping rolling. He's playing a
Dude,
lot.
he barely made the cut, but he played well over the
Yeah.
weekend.
Oh, talk about another guy who burned a lot of people. Brendan Steele at 7,500. I'm sure we'll talk about him. Chris Goddard. Want to talk about that in a minute. Fowler's in here trying to save his, tour card. Nick Hardy, Adam Svensson hurt a lot of people last week too. Joel Damon's playing the first weekend a little bit, coming off his Italy vacation. Patrick Rogers, Grayson Siggs in there. Michael Thorbjornsen, the other
Mhm.
college standout player who just had a really good week. Was that at the Deer? I can't remember what tournament that was. Thorbjornsen, Studley player. Smotherman's in there. I like this low 7 range a good bit.
Fuck,
Um,
that light come on again.
what? Oh, yeah, that light comes on by itself like every week. Well, why does that keep happening?
I don't know.
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the chalk first. I think. All right. So what are Goddard people going to do? Let's talk about Goddard. And this is a good thing to talk about just in general. Goddard was projected at one point last week, like Davis Riley, between 28 and 30% on multiple different websites. Of course, we turn him. We play him as our chalk bomb. He finishes 47th in DraftKings point scoring. He makes the cut barely, I think, on the number. Finishes 47th in DraftKings scoring. Worthy fade. Worthy fade. But it was a great example because he came in at like 15% average ownership. His ownership was cut in half. Great example that sometimes, man, when a certain type of player gets too high in the ownership, everybody goes, "Oh, I'm out." And then a lot of people bail, and then you get the ownership cut in half. So it was an interesting study. Now that he's down to 7,400, um, I mean, I think he's worth a look. We'll see. We'll see what ownership starts to become with Goddard because he's the guy that everybody's really excited about playing. I kind of stayed there on it. Well, I don't want to jump ahead, but all right. So I think Goddard's could be chalky. I think Ju Young Kim, the other hot commodity right now, is going to continue to soak up some ownership the way he's playing, the way he scores. He's at 7,600. Who do you think's the next? Like, give me the next name other than those two that you think could be a popular play. I think it's someone up in the top part of this range, but I'm interested to hear who you think it could be.
In the top part here, I think the popular name is going to be Scott Stallings.
I was debating between Stallings and Kirk as the
I,
two most
I
popular.
think it's going to be. Well, I think both of them are going to be popular, and I like both of them.
Yeah,
I like Kirk more than I do Stallings and the reason was because I actually think I could gain a little more ownership leverage with Kirk over Stallings. Maybe I'm not. I don't know.
I love Stallings this week, man. I love that upside. I hope he doesn't come in. I mean, like, he's got so much trunk slamming equity in him as well that I would be afraid to play him at 15, 18%, which I don't think we'll get there with him, but I do really like him a lot this week. I love his upside right now. I love the way he's playing. I would play him in cash though, and Kirk. I think Kirk and Stallings are great cash options.
Yeah.
So who do we like in here?
Well, I'll give you a few that I like. One I've already mentioned, Chris Kirk. I like Stallings. I think if I'm dropping down a little bit, I'm back in on Brendan Steele. I know you hated his putting and everything else, but I think Brendan Steele just wants to give a big old F you to everybody who he screwed last week.
I don't think Brendan still cares about the people.
I know he doesn't care, but he's going to do it anyway. He's gonna do it without even knowing, because all these people are going to jump off of Brendan Steele, and all of a sudden he's going to play well. And this is what's going to happen on Twitter. I could just hear it on Twitter right now. Everybody freaking out because he played well after everybody talked about him last week. But I do like Brendan Steele. He's only played here once back in 2019, had a T55. But I still think this is a good course fit for him. I like his stats. So Brendan Steele will be one that I like here. I like Ju Young Kim. I really, think about Kim is he just seems to be like just a grinder. Like, I mean, he almost missed the cut, and then he ends up T26 last week at the 3M Open. We know he finished well at the Scottish Open with the third place, T47 at the Open Championship. I feel like he's just the type of guy that just loves being out here, loves playing golf, grinds, can score. So I like him at 7,600. So I'm a big fan there. And then if I'm dropping down a little bit below that, I don't want to play Chris Goddard, but I'm going to. Because I think he's I still think he's a stud. 7,400. Where is his ownership going to be? I have no clue. Don't know. I like Ricky Fowler and I like Mackenzie Hughes, both at 7,300. Mackenzie Hughes missed his last two cuts, but did finish top 25 at the Travelers and has a great course history here. If you look at his last two times, he played here in 2021, T14, played here in 2019, T21. Ricky Fowler has made the cut every single time that he has played here with the top 12 finish in 2020, T32 last year. Games coming around, just needs to get the putter hot.
What is Ricky Fowler's real upside? I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I feel like making a cut is there, but I mean, what is he doing? Like, what is his real upside, you know?
Well, I mean, he's making cuts, but he's doing a little more than that. I mean, T38 at last week at the 3M isn't just making a cut. I mean, you're still beating most of the field by doing that. T47 at the Scottish Open. I mean, and you look at all his events that he's played. I mean, let me pull him up here. And you're getting low ownership anyway. He's not high owned. Um,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're gonna get low ownership, but I mean, I still want him
one,
to
two,
do
three,
something.
4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, he's made 7 of his last 8 cuts with 2 top 25s in there and a 38th at 7,300.
Yeah.
I feel like Ricky's got to be adding value somewhere, and the putting's been terrible. Other than gaining 4 strokes at the Wells Fargo, where he finished 21st. Um, it's like he's just not putting everything together. As a matter of fact, the 3M Open, if you look at across the board stats, was the most like he gained strokes across the board more last week than he did in almost any other tournament I'm looking at that where he finished well, other than the PGA Championship. So,
All right. Um, yeah, we talked about going back to Brendan Steele. We talked about Brendan Steele in the betting show. I can't get down with the outright bet just with the putter. I still feel like he's going to be a fade for me. Um, I'm a little more enticed in DFS just to see where it all shakes out. How pissed are people? How bad are they scared off by the fact that he's lost 6 strokes putting in 2 straight events, which I talked ad nauseum on the betting show. I think is hard to do. Um, so for me, like unless Brendan Steele was like 6% or less, that's about when I'll consider playing him. But I think I'm out. There's too many good options in here. I really like this range. This will be a very popular topic, range in the Wednesday Night Live Nut Hut chat. By the way, new format to the Wednesday Night Live Nut Hut chat. We're back. We're better than ever. We're doing some stage time in the Discord. You can pop in and ask questions. It feels like a radio show where the listeners are calling in. It's a great time. We had a great 2 hour or so chat last week for the 3M Open, and that was just a 3M Open. Hard to get excited about the 3M, but it was a beautiful thing, and we had a great time. If you were in that chat, drop a comment. Let the people know how awesome it is. You need to join up for $10 a month or $90 a year. I promise it's the best cash you'll spend all year, and we'll help you make it up quickly, either in the Prize Picks channel or in the other channels that we do. We got basketball, we got NBA experts, NFL, college football, MMA, baseball experts. Hell, we got a disc golf expert in there dropping knowledge, people making money everywhere in the Nut Hut. Join it. There's a link in the description of the podcast as well as the YouTube channel. But the Wednesday Night Live chat is changed forever. So if you've done the Wednesday Night Live chat and you didn't really like it, come back and give it another shot because we're doing it better than ever. I promise you're going to love it. So that'll go down tonight or Wednesday for the Rocket Mortgage, probably around 8:45, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll drop that chat. I mean, names that I'm interested in. I already mentioned Scott Stallings. I'm also very interested in Troy Merritt. Amish Troy played well here last year. I think he had the lead through 54 holes, checking some boxes as well. The other college kid, Thor Bjornsson, the
mhm.
cheap kid,
Almost won a few weeks ago.
almost won. Like the kid, hits it a mile too. Like don't sleep on Thor Bjornsson down there at 7,100. Callum Tarrant, we know I'm going to talk about him. Had a good week the last couple weeks. You got all these FedEx Cup bubble boys. Grayson Siggs, another one. But my favorite play down here, and I hate myself for it. I talked about him on the betting show, but Patrick Rogers, I can't not play him. I love the distance. I
Ugh,
love the
I
putting
just can't.
ability.
I'm done.
Played here
I'm
twice.
done.
I know, but I can't. I tried to talk myself out of him all day today, and I can't. There's so many good names. There's so many plays in here. We'll narrow it down. We'll talk through it. There's a lot of good names to get some leverage in here, for sure. So Adam Svensson, another one down there that a lot of people got burned by at 7,200. Prices dropped. He's on sale. What do we think? I don't know. All right, that's probably good for the 7K range. Before we bring in our guest and we talk through the 6K range, I want to remind you that our promo code at Prize Picks is up and running. Promo code TJ gets you a 100% deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks is fantastic. We got a whole channel for it in the Nut Hut. People making tons of money. It's just the easiest thing. It's the best thing to do. It's the best legal way to play player props in like 20 something, 30 something states, something like that. Daily fantasy made easy. All you do is pick 2 to 5 players and an over under projection, and you can win up to 10x, sometimes 11 or 12x of your entry. It's just you versus the numbers. It's not you versus a big pool of other people and sharp players and people with bigger bankrolls. It's none of that. And you can do mixed sport entries. You can do baseball and golf right now. You could do MMA and whatever you want to do. It's all there. Disc golf is how we're making money in the Nut Hut on Prize Picks. Freaking disc golf. Can you believe that? I mean, what are we doing? It's 2022. They offer safe and fast withdrawals. The app is incredible. Trust me, you will not regret Prize Picks. There's a link in the description of this video and the podcast. Check it out. Promo code TJ gets you that 100% deposit match. All right, 6K range it is. And who else shall we bring in to the Tour Junkies? Making her debut on this show is the one, the only Nita Rodriguez, the host of DFS Trash Talk. What up, girl?
Hey, what's happening? I'm stupid amped right now.
Yo, Nita, we're so happy to have you. You look lovely.
Thank you.
Love your backdrop.
Hey, I had to do something. Can't come on here without nothing.
Listen.
Hey, Nita, welcome. Welcome, Nita.
Thank you. I must say pay P, because, hey, that's what we doing right now. We paying P.
Yeah,
hey,
do his thing.
That's right. That's right.
P over here. Listen, Nita is crushing it on YouTube with us lately. She's dropping her 6K bays of the week. It's a quick video. She's doing all the research on all these 6K players, give you some of that leverage in your GPPs that you all want. She's obviously very active and engaged in the Nut Hut as well. She's the host of DFS Trash Talk, getting her basketball plays on when basketball season kicks back, up and running.
Let him know. I'm in there 24/7.
Yeah, it's awesome. Nita keeps things straight in there too. Nita in the Nut Hut, Nita is like doing so many things. You're like the mother hen. You're like you will tell somebody when, hey, you're being an idiot, you need to chill, go to time out. And yet you will take a lot of shit in there that you shouldn't have to take, but you take it. And then you just hang with the boys, like you get in there and you mix it up. It's fantastic. We love having you in there.
I love being in there with y'all.
You're also great with the 6K range. So talk to us, Nita. Talk to us. Rocket Mortgage 6K range. It's ugly down here, girl.
It's super ugly.
It ain't a beauty contest.
It never is.
Yeah. Well, this is really worse. Who do we like? Don't give all the secrets, because I know you got your video this week. So
I won't give the secrets, but I will say this. If you chose Hadley or Piercy last week, don't choose them this week. It's not that serious. Don't chase that money. That's bad money, okay? We don't want that type of money.
Really? I was kind of liking Hadley. You don't like Hadley?
Yeah, he missed the cut here.
Suspect?
He's suspect.
Okay.
We don't want all that.
Piercy, he's probably a head case after Sunday. He's got
to be. Yeah, he's done. We're not taking Piercy.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should touch him again this week. I mean, he did his thing last week, but again, these 6K plays are guys that they're random. They're they're random. They have their good day, their good weeks, and their bad weeks, and them two just had their good weeks. So leave them alone.
So they're out. So who else? Who do we like?
So who do we like? Well, I like. I'm into a little JJ Spawn this week.
Ooh.
He intrigued me a little bit.
Just
I'm
a
glad,
little bit.
I'm glad you bring him up. I'm glad you bring him up, Nita, because he kind of popped for me a little bit. He was one of those. Yeah, and I just I was on the fence a little bit with him, so maybe you've given me a little bit of validation.
I feel like he'll do us some good in the GPPs. He's gonna be low owned. He is 12th tee to green over the last 24 rounds. He's 35th in ball striking over the last 24 rounds.
He's a ball striker.
Yeah, he be getting it in. And also he's 7th in approach.
Made the cut
over
here
the last 24 rounds.
Made the cut here all 3 years too.
Yeah.
Familiar with the golf course. Got
a lot of history.
Yep.
can I say this? But I fuck with him this week.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
That's it.
Hey, I mean, if you can't with JJ Spawn, who can you? You know, I get it. I get it. All right, who else you got?
All right.
Who else catching your eye?
I'm a little bit intrigued with. Is it called Steven Yeager?
Yes.
Hey, I like
Nita-
him this week a little
Yeah.
bit.
Nita and her pronunciation. Hey, Nita, tell us how can I get you?
Joel Diamond. That's what I said.
No.
But I heard it was Joel. I said Joel
Yes.
Diamond, but it's Joel Diamond. I learned it. Don't
I
worry.
like how you
Got y'all for
added.
the
I
next
like
time.
the Joel.
Dude, you're giving like the whitest dude from the Pacific Northwest or middle
Well,
of
put his
America.
name for the hood, because I swear
Yeah.
that's how we say it
You
over
are
here.
juicing it up. Joel Diamond.
Name Joel, okay?
No, it's like, hey, I know you'll get down with this. It's like when remember Family Matters when Urkel would turn into Stefan.
Steven and Stevan.
Yeah, because Joel Damon is Urkel and Joel Damin is Stefan. You know what I mean? He turns it up.
I love that analogy right there.
That's what it is. I
That's
get
hot.
it. All right. Well, I do think it's Steven Yeager, or maybe it is actually Stephen Yeager. I don't know.
Steven Yeager. Hey, if he got that Steph Curry swing, you never know.
Yeah, that could be good.
Because I mean, I think he's a real sleeper for the GPPs. I think he could bring us that fire that we're looking for, and he's going to be stupid underowned.
He's going to be underowned. I like. All right, let me give you a name I kind of like, and I've been talking him up a lot. I mean, this year I surely have. 6,800, David Lipsky. Or some would say David Lipsky. Some people have been known to say
that. Sounds more fancier.
Yeah, he's French, maybe in that.
That's why it sounds fancy.
Yeah, I think Lipsky. I've been talking about him all year. Just a guy that doesn't do anything terribly. He also doesn't do anything really great, which is kind of limiting at times. But I think for this ugly 6K range, he gives you a high floor. Probably a decent, compared to a lot of names in here, I think the made cut equity, for lack of a better term, is probably solid for Lipsky. And I think the guy does have some upside. He knows how to contend on a big stage, on a global stage. At least he's done it over his career. And he's done it a couple times on the PGA Tour this season in Mexico and the Corrales. So I like D. Lipsky. I'll go with him.
I don't mind that one. Listen, I got a question for Nita, but I gotta give. But before I ask you a question, I gotta give the play here.
Okay.
And look, this is. I divorced this man. We were in a relationship, and I said, you know what? I'm never taking you back. And this is what happens in DFS, right, Nita? Sometimes you'll never play a guy again.
Oh, that means he's on the shit list.
Yeah. But apparently he's about to be back.
But guess what? I'm bringing him back into the household. I'm giving him a key. To Pat's DFS lineup, and that is Matt Wallace. I'm giving Matt Wallace the key.
Lord.
I'm giving Matt Wallace the key again. I don't know what I'm allowing an abusive relationship to happen again.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, Matt Wallace
finished. Claim Pat though.
Look, he was top 15 here in 2020. He's been playing pretty well recently. Okay, if you look at the European Tour and the U.S. Tour, he's been playing both. Has some good finishes, some top 25s. He's 10th in the field in opportunities gained. He's 32nd in par 5 scoring. 34th in approach. I think Matt Wallace might be worth taking back into the household this week. I don't know, Nita. Just something to think about.
Can I say something? I kind of agree. I always feel like I can never explain how good a person is at a tournament versus their season-long stats, right? Because a person can miss 5 to 8 cuts. We've seen that with Cam Champ last week. We've seen that with a few of the guys last week, right? They've all been missing cuts. But how do I explain that in the 6K range and say, hey, even though this person has missed cuts, we should still take them, right?
Mhm.
But he's one of those guys. Got a 12th here, got a top 15 here last year, and he's one of those guys we can't explain because he's been missing cuts out the ass.
Yeah.
But now he's on a course that he loves. Why not take him this week, right?
Yeah.
I don't. I think I hate to see my friend get back in the abusive relationship that is Matt
Well,
Wallace.
I'm gonna do it.
Well,
But
he got a friend that backs him up a little bit, so
Okay,
I'll throw them punches with him. You know what I mean? And we good to go.
Take the earrings off.
I take them all off,
Yeah.
bamboos, all of them.
So Nita, listen though, you've been doing really well with these 6K plays.
Yes.
What's the one thing? Like, give us one thing that you really like when you're looking at these 6K plays. This kind of your favorite thing to look at, because there's so many. Like, we talk about the 6K guys. They miss cuts here and there. Their form, it could be off. Their stats may be off. There's got to be a few things that pop for you that you like the best. When you like, what's the first thing you really look at? Is it maybe the course history? Is it maybe a certain stat? What do you like the best in these 6K ranges that really pops for these guys?
Individually, for strokes gained, I like to see that approach game. If your approach game is on point, I can fuck with you all day. Now.
Oh yeah, I like a man with a good, strong approach.
Yeah, you gotta have that approach game. For me, that's everything.
With a weak ass approach. What am I?
Because a weak ass approach don't mean shit these days.
No, we ain't.
So, but look, then I also, after that approach, I like to look at the strokes gained total. Like, what did they gain for that week?
Okay.
Did anything benefit them? What did they do to get to that point? You know what I'm saying? Like, was it the putting? Was it windy? Was it not windy? Was it a Pete Dye course? Was it bent grass? What type of course was it? Was it 7,200 yards or less? Or was it 72 to 400? Or was it 7,400 more?
Nita loves her Fantasy National. Listen to that girl rattle off her Fantasy National.
Look at that.
I'm going to rattle off Fantasy National every single time because I'm a math person. However, I'm going to suggest that everybody get on to Fantasy National straight up.
We tell them.
And I only got on because of DB Impact. That was it. And I saw the numbers that y'all ran, and I said, damn, I want to be as good as them. So I ran it.
Listen, I love it. You kill it. All right, let's do this. Let's do real quick. Let's go around the horn. Nita, you ladies first. You start, and then we'll go to Pat because age before beauty.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go Nita, Pat, DB, and we'll go around, and you get 3 picks. Any
range?
No price restriction. All in the 6K though. All in the 6K. But you can pick any player in the 6K. Nita, you have the first pick in the 6K draft. 3 guys. You can pick one now, though, and then it's Pat's turn.
JJ Spawn.
I like it. All right, Pat.
Yep.
Okay. I'm a fan there. All right, I'll go back to my boy Hayden Buckley, 6,900.
I like Buckley. We haven't talked about this. Well, no, I'll go Lipsky. I'll keep on track here. We just talked about Lipsky. Nita, you're up.
Tyler Duncan.
T-Dunk.
T-Dunk. I don't mind him.
It's a super ugly play, but this is GPP.
I know.
I never can figure him out, so maybe
I can't
this is week to play.
I think this is that week.
Okay. All right.
I'll
go with the course horse who hasn't been playing well, Sepp Straka at 67.
Ooh. Dude, Straka's been. You talk about playing like ass.
He has, but maybe he gets
playing bad.
Yeah,
he took the chalk.
Yeah, he needs a pop for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go. We haven't talked about this guy yet.
Okay.
But talk about a guy who hits it a long way and has a great putter. Everything else, terrible. Okay, and that's Beau Hossler. I think Beau Hossler is for sure. I talked about him on the betting shows, maybe a top 20 or a top 40 play. I like the upside of Beau Hossler, so I'm gonna go Hossler. All right, Nita, you're up. Last pick.
I'm gonna take a guy that has no course history. That has been a little boom or bust. I can't be super nice about this, but I'm excited about it, and that is Lee Hodges.
Yeah, no,
okay. I don't mind that.
I like Hodges.
He's been on. His last. He just missed the cut a couple of weeks ago, but that was his only one since May.
Yeah, you're right. He's been making cuts. He hits a long way. I like him.
Let's
All
go.
right,
Love that. All right, I'm going to Matt Wallace. So how can I sit there and have all this conversation about Matt Wallace and not put him in this? So I'll go with Matt.
Who was your last pick before Matt?
Sep.
Oh, yes, Sep.
Step striker. Yeah.
Septical tank. All right, so producer Sam's calling this game show on the fly, so we're gonna have one more pick below the $6,500 range. So get ready for that, Nita. So I'm gonna go with a guy who had a surprisingly good finish last week. I did not see this coming, and it's a guy that normally Pat loves at 6,700. I can't believe he left him out there for me. Finished 11th at the 3M, 24th at the Deer, 13th at the RBC Canadian. That's 2 top 15s and a top 25 in his last 5 starts. Kelly Craft for me.
Ooh.
I'll go Kelly
I don't
Craft.
mind that. Okay.
I am loving this team right now. All right, Weechia, one more pick. They got to be under 6,500. I can't wait to drop mine on y'all. Y'all are about to hate yourself for missing this. Nita, you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Who you
All
got?
right, so my under 6,500 has missed this cut twice, but he's been here 3 times.
Okay.
All right, and that's Austin Cook.
Okay. I like Austin Cook.
Austin Cook been here 3 times, but his best finish was a 39th place finish in 2020.
He was kind of getting talked up last week, and
Was
then he
he?
kind of didn't come through. But I mean, I think Cook's not a bad play.
I don't think he's a bad play. I feel like he has that mysterious, low ownership.
Well, he's gonna be low. They're all gonna be low.
Let's see what he could do for us type of
Yeah.
deal.
All right, Pat, what you got?
All right. Well, I'm going to go with some form here. Okay. I don't think you're going to get anything else out of this guy other than form. With a top 10 finish at the Barbasol Classic Championship Invitational, whatever the hell it was, Michael Kim was at 6.
He withdrew.
Fuck. I asked you that earlier, DB.
I
Sam?
I didn't think to tell you Michael Kim withdrew. Excuse me for leaving that out. Freaking Michael Kim.
All right. Damn it. All right. Let me drop down here. I'll go with fuck it. I'll go with Camilo Villegas at 6,200. 13th at the
That's not
Barbasol.
Listen, if
T58 at the 3M.
If people have stopped listening to this point, you're gonna hate yourself for missing this pick. Okay, you're gonna hate yourself. This guy has played in 15 events in 2022. He has only missed 4 cuts. This is a guy who is priced at the absolute bare ass minimum. Bare minimum price, $6K, and he's made 11 of 15 cuts this season. In fact, Nita, you want to talk about a man with some strong approach? You want some strong?
All right, what we doing? What we doing?
In the last 6 weeks, it would be 20 rounds for him because he missed 2 cuts. So in his last 20 rounds, in the last 6 weeks, he's gained over a dozen strokes with approach.
Yeah. That's fine right there.
And he's gained strokes both around the green and on the green in his last 5 golf tournaments. And he is minimum price $6K. Sung Yul No. Sung, you'll know his name by the end of this tournament if you don't already.
Sung, you'll know his name.
Yes, you will. There it is. There you have it. Nita's team is Austin Cook, JJ Spawn, Tyler Duncan, and Lee Hodges. Pat is Camilo Villegas, Hayden Buckley, Sepp Straka, and Matt Wallace. I got Sung You'll Know, David Lipsky, Beau Hossler, and Kelly Craft. By the way, I crushed Pat again in our 6K draft last week. I don't know if I'll be so lucky against Nita, but it would be my honor if possibly I could beat the 6K Bay queen that is Miss Nita Rodriguez. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me. I love you guys so much.
Well, we love you and appreciate you, and people need to check out your stuff. Tell them where the DFS Trash Talk stuff is for basketball if they're basketball people.
All right, so for DFS Trash Talk, all y'all gotta do is get up on Facebook, and you can follow all the content there from basketball to NFL, and it's gonna be popping this year. So I expect to see everybody, but make sure because I'll be in the Nut Hut too. I'm always giving the plays out there too. All right, so clock in.
Clock in. Thank you. Thank you, Nita.
You're welcome back.
All right, that
Thank
was
you,
our
Nina.
girl, Nita Rodriguez. This has been a fun show. She's great. Yeah, she's a good time in the Nut Hut. If we didn't have Nita in the Nut Hut, I don't know what we would do.
Yeah, she keeps us all in check.
She does. Yeah, thank God. All right, there we go. There you have it. That's the DraftKings show for the Rocket Mortgage Classic 2022. Stay tuned. You better be watching the podcast feed and the YouTube feed this week, and especially and next week too. We got some fresh new fire content coming that you are not going to want to miss. So check that out, and may your screens be green. See ya.